Before we get started, I'm trying different sound settings on my microphone here, so I'm hoping this news sounds all the more luxurious, but if it did not work out, I do apologize. Let's get to the news. Welcome everybody to another episode of Fantasy Schnoz. I am your disheveled goblin host Daniel Green, and today I am really excited to start off this fantasy news with some Guin updates. One of my favorite minds to ever enter the speculative fiction space, Ursula K. Le Guin is receiving a graphic novel adaptation for her book, A Wizard of Earthsea, illustrated by Fred Fordham. This will be released March 11th of 2025 with Clarion Books. Now, Fred Fordham is actually quite the established graphic novel artist, previously having worked on adaptations of To Kill a Mockingbird and A Brave New World. And when speaking about adapting A Wizard of Earthsea, Fred said, "For all its influence, A Wizard of Earthsea feels unique to me. It's the most poignantly written and mysterious portrayal of magic and personal development that I've encountered in a fantasy story. It's been great working with Theo Dones Le Guin to try to faithfully adapt such beautiful words into a new medium. Daunting, but great." And while we haven't been able to see inside the art yet, this cover alone is a interesting choice, but one that I respect. Earthsea usually has dragons, things along those lines in the cover, but here we see a very notable scene from the story taken with restraint, yet the approach to it is mysterious and capturing the tone still of Earthsea quite well, in my opinion. And there is a dumb part of my brain that goes, Earth? Sea. And I quite agree with Fred's assessment of Wizard of Earthsea. Le Guin, as an author, is actually someone I've probably read more of their writings on writing than their actual books. I think I only have 2 or 3 Le Guin books under my belt, but her thoughts on the creative process and what place fiction has in the world is truly some of the most well thought out and articulated arguments I've come across. If you want to see an example of this, I cannot recommend her introduction to Left Hand of Darkness enough. It showcases that Le Guin is not only one of the best authors the genre has ever seen, or genres I should say, but one of the best commentators on endeavors into the fiction space as well. Highly recommend it. Really looking forward to this next news. And I'm happy to jump on over from Le Guin to another cover reveal. Not for a graphic novel adaptation, but instead for a novel written by a comic book writer. Gail Simone, Red Sonja, often seen as an iconic female counterpart to Conan, is going to be reinvented for a new generation by the comic book artist in the book Red Sonja Consumed. Quick insert here, I somehow in my original research missed the fact that Red Sonja actually was originally created as a Marvel character, and this is going to be her first adaptation into a novel, but not her first adaptation since her original creation in 1973, because there is actually a movie release that has mixed reviews, as many comic book adaptations from this specific era of them being done do.
The talisman. We must find my sister.
I'll come with you.
I don't need any man's help.
Hold down, Sonja! I can hold them! Go! Prepare to be conquered.
I don't want to kill you.
Try it.
This is set to be released this November and has a cover design by Planet Pinto as well as illustration by Mike Heath and Magnus Creative. And possibly one of my biggest shifts as a fan of fantasy covers, I used to be against the simple swords or what have you being book covers, but as I have learned more about swords and the cultural implications they can have and paid more attention to like what's going on in the background and complementing these swords, they can really work. And while trends rise and fall within fantasy and science fiction for covers, they remain consistent and certainly seem to sell somewhat well. You can say they're pulling off of like the Game of Thrones ones, but I would disagree. These have been a trend for covers long before Game of Thrones came into space and kind of became the top seller of having sword on cover / crown / helmet, whatever it continued to. And as a fan of strong fighter women in general,
You have my attention.
And would it be a 2024 fantasy news without a art reveal for Suneater? Because Patrick Leo has, yes, art directed yet another in-sheet that has been shown for the Suneater series that is being put together in a special way by the Broken Binding. And here we have seen the latest art by Renee Agner, and it'll be the final end piece we get for Demon in White. And I'm trying not to get to spoilers, but this is one of the most epic scenes within Suneater, and thinking about it made me realize, in terms of epic scenes I've read in 2024, I think Suneater holds all top 5 spots. That's really impressive. And this one's probably like number 3 of the 5. I need to do a top 10 badass moments of 2024 in science fiction fantasy I've read. That'd be a good video, right? But now for the strangest news of the day, before you do get a passionate rant at the end here. That's right, it's coming. We have had an update from Booberdabrack about Dragonsteel Nexus 2024, where apparently you can pay for a bonus experience at the convention to witness actors and actresses depicting the wedding of spoiler and spoiler. I will not say it here. You can check out the link down below if you want to see a bit more information. This is going to be really cool for the people who are into it. Some LARPing going on that's going to be on repeated nights so everyone can get the fan experience if they sell out on like a night or so. Nice. I like that they're having people dress up for it. Me personally, I get so uncomfortable around actors who refuse to leave character. It's why I will never go to a Disney park. As soon as I communicate to a person and they respond not as themselves, all of my social abilities shut down, and I don't know how to handle it. This is not me critiquing what they're doing. It's cool. I like this immersive experience for people who are going to be down for it. I'm going to avoid it like the plague. I don't know what's wrong with my brain. I've gone to Ren fairs and I'll be like, where's the bathroom? And they're like, the loo. Nope. And I'll walk away. I can't do it. There's this rock solid memory of my head when I was like 9 or 10, lost at a Ren fair, going up to a guy in knight armor being like, I can't find my parents. And the person being like, oh, young orphan. And I was just like, fucking no. Oh God, in hindsight, he was just trying to like play it up to keep me calm, be cute. Did not work. Now, in some news that's probably going to affect how you consume your speculative fiction in the near future, it seems that Netflix is taking a stand against ever bundling its streaming service with any of its competitors, which obviously makes complete sense. We have seen Warner Brothers Discovery, HBO Max, Hulu, Disney Plus, all in varying degrees start bundling their services, but for Netflix, it doesn't really make sense. Despite what people have been saying for years, Netflix is still on top in terms of the numbers for the streaming wars. And the idea of bundling their content when for a lot of people, impressively still in 2024, Netflix is kind of, not always, but more so synonymous with just streaming content in general. Yeah, I totally understand this statement released in their financial quarter. We haven't bundled Netflix with other streamers like Disney Plus or Max because Netflix already operates as a go-to destination for entertainment, thanks to the breadth and variety of our slate and superior product experience. Sir, I admit Netflix has maybe the broadest consumer experience, but superior?
This is literally heaven on earth.
Cheers to sexy people. Cheers, guys.
You have been at the front of the line for decades, and you exposed me to a lot of these controversial ideas that have now been substantiated.
No, God! No, God, please, no! 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 No!
Walmart is Walmart because they have it all. And Netflix is Netflix because they have, certainly sometimes on their shelves, let's call it, there is some great content, but to say it's superior? Sir, this has driven industry-leading penetration, engagement, and retention for us, which limits the benefits to Netflix of bundling directly with other streamers. That I completely agree with. And we saw the latest update in terms of total subscribers to Netflix here, which has apparently added another 8 million subscribers, taking it to 277 million globally. Holy shit.
Talking mushrooms.
But Netflix is still looking to bundle with device partners, which is a conversation that we're already seeing happen all over the place, so let's just move on to the next news. I actually have good news for Witcher fans, believe it or not. I know you guys have been in a little bit of a cloudy state recently, but we're gonna blow that away because I got some interesting updates. And that is because the original comics from the 90s will finally be published in English and are set to release March 18th of 2025, called The Witcher Classic Collection. And it's available for pre-order now for about $30. And it has this cover art. Hold up, stop it. I know you're about to easily meme on this, which, fair, but I kinda love this. The weird and strange pre-adaptation interpretations from a budgeted attempt to adapt a classic story. It reminds me of like pre-Peter Jackson Lord of the Rings art. Geralt's got DSL and a high ponytail, 'cause why not? But genuinely, no, actually, I love this. There's personality and charm here that you will see absent from, I would say, any of the like adapted officially to Netflix covers we've gotten in the last couple of years. Sure, this looks more aesthetically pleasing. This is greater art to me. Maybe of course, it's the most subjective thing ever. You're welcome to disagree. Leave me that comment, helps the engagement. I'm just saying, in my strange brain, not many feel-good chemicals, lots of feel-good chemicals. Fortunately, we live in the digital age, which means there are resources all about you to help you come to a better grasp of reality itself. Many of those things you can explore right now on Brilliant.org. Brilliant has thousands of mini lessons where you can learn by interacting with math, data analysis, programming, and beyond. As a YouTuber, of course, I'm a huge fan of because we all are. And I've been trying out their course, Beyond a Nutshell. Surprisingly, not that much about nuts, but it has allowed me to dive deeper into the science behind many of my favorite of their videos. Everything from terraforming Mars to black holes and the limits of humanity. There are so many ways you can take your scientific knowledge to the next level. Each lesson is filled with hands-on problem solving that lets you play with concepts, a method proven to be 6 times more effective than watching lecture videos. Or I'm sure just like 80% of the way most of us were taught in schools. How have we not like globally implemented better? I'm not talking about that right now. This is a sponsor spot. Brilliant helps exercise those critical thinking skills through problem solving, not memorizing. So while you're building real knowledge on specific topics, you'll also become a better thunker. So instead of mindlessly doom scrolling in the middle of the day or at night, take a few minutes to build real knowledge for both personal and professional growth. And you can try everything Brilliant has to offer with a 30-day free trial. All you have to do is visit brilliant.org/Daniel Green or click the link in the description down below and you can get 20% off an annual Brilliant subscription, which will make you brilliant. Back to the video. And this is going to take us to the longest ongoing train wreck to grace the fantasy science fiction space in quite some time, and that is going to be several updates for the Rebel Moon franchise, something that's dead on arrival but was so invested in we're still getting content for, and we're going to continue to for quite some time. But anyway, it seems there is going to be a Rebel Moon prequel story that will be released as like a podcast, judging from what I'm seeing here, with a cast that includes the likes of Ella Purnell, to be released July 29th, which actually transitions us quite nicely into the next Rebel Moon news, because Ella Purnell being involved with anything is big old cherry. She is a delight. And similarly, this is probably the best piece of content we've gotten artistically from Rebel Moon. This cover for the director's cut trailer, apparently, is brilliant. I love the colors, the expression, the twining dragon / wolf coming around this royalty, the blood. It actually reflects a scene that does occur in the movie. Mwah! But now, let's talk about the director's cut trailer. Into that, we're gonna go to my live reaction recorded on Twitch earlier today, and We all knew this was going to happen, and it's artificially trying to recreate the Snyder Cut hype and success by being like, and now we get to make the red band bad boy version. There's going to be blood and boobs. I'm not saying this won't be a better version of the movie. I am just saying there's also going to be scenes that just should have been in the original one, aside from the 30 minutes of goddamn grain footage we got, because they just want to be able to do a second release. And we're gonna see blood, we're gonna see boobs, scenes that actually make the story make sense.
What an idea!
But it's so gross from an artistic standpoint. Like, this is so hollow, soulless, and dead. And shame on Zack Snyder, shame on Netflix and everybody for making this happen. You wasted everyone's time with the first versions of the films. It's not even about an R-rated version. It's just, ugh. They put nipples on a robot. We couldn't put nipples on the robot in the original one. This is Zack Snyder's true vision. The nipples on the robot. Those are USB ports. I'm willing to say Rebel Moon 2 is the worst film I have watched in probably 5 years. It is genuinely awful. The robot's crying. It's so deep and sad. If it was deep and important, why didn't you include it in the Oh my God, groundbreaking. Instead of 20 minutes of slow-mo grain, we're gonna get slow-mo rain! Take out the G! Oh, Zack Snyder's a genius! It's not even like good blood. It's CGI bad blood you see in like PG-13 movies. Are you kidding me, Zack Snyder? You're trying to show me this is like the real original vision, and you put in digital fake shitty looking blood, not even squibs or anything realistic. This isn't artistically edgy or pushing a bound. This is commercial safe, consumable edgy. That's what it is. I can't believe they put that in the trailer. Are you serious? He agreed to this. His true vision? Suck my butt. Amazing scene for a very important thing in the movie. I wonder why it wasn't in the first one. Was it so they could just have this one? Their wrath. You know it's real, adult? And it's beyond criticism, because here's the big bold of it. Big booba. Netflix wouldn't let him have big booba originally. I wanted Zack Snyder to prove potential, and all he has done is proven to me that he has the artistic vision of a 16-year-old who huffs glue. I can't believe earlier in this same fantasy news deep dive, we saw Netflix try and claim that they have like a superior branding of content. If you would like to see Kayla and I's full reaction to the second Rebel Moon movie, just $1 over on Patreon. You can check it on out. It's like a 40-minute video. We couldn't put it here on YouTube because it kept getting dinged by Netflix. I understand. We were harsh. The violinists are still going in the background. I love that he got together with his little assassination posse. He was like, guys, we're gonna have the most magnificent murder. There's gonna be violins. There's gonna be a cello. Oh no! They just heard her dramatic footsteps and went, go, 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 go. I'm not exaggerating though when I tell you there is 15-ish minutes of slow motion grain shots. And that was in the movie instead of what seems to be relevant, actual character-enhancing plot details that we are now getting in the director's cut. I actually believe, this is my personal opinion, they released an inferior product to try and artificially create hype for this version we're getting now.
Already dead.
Yeah, you'll be able to watch all the bloody titty stuff that is put into this movie in like a YouTube compilation in like a month after its release. And I just, ew. That's my reaction here. Ew. But to close on out the fantasy news, I am going to be tossing it on over to Jackson, the co-host of the fantasy news here, to cover some Halo and Arcane times. Take it away, Jackson.
Jackson here. Let's talk about video game TV show adaptations. We got a new minute-long sneak peek of season 2 of Arcane that follows Heimerdinger and Echo on a stealth mission. It's a fun little clip that has Heimerdinger doing ridiculous evasive maneuvers, which I just can't wrap my head around. Heimerdinger being so spry, seeing this old Yordle so nimble after nearly a decade of watching him do the Donger walk down mid lane is so like bizarre. Anyway, Heimerdinger and Echo have great chemistry in this clip, and I'm beyond hyped for season 2. I'm sad that Arcane is only getting 2 seasons, but ultimately I feel like it's a good thing. The show is incredible, so obviously I want more, but there's also something to be said about telling a solid, contained story without much filter and a very satisfying arc than constantly extending it, finding new ways to up the stakes, introducing new villains, etc., until the show is a shadow of its former self. Fundamentally, this is a story about 2 sisters, and I like that Arcane is going to stay that way. There's even more news for Arcane fans, however. On the GKids website, there's several options for pre-ordering the physical releases of the first season. There's a collector's edition, which is $150 to pre-order, that comes with a map, thematic TTRPG dice, a poster, and art cards with Powder's drawings on them. If you're just a fan of the show and would like to own a physical copy of it, you can pre-order the Steel Books and 4K UHD edition for $45 or the standard Blu-ray for $35. Jeff Keighley tweeted out that Paramount Plus has officially canceled the Halo series after 2 seasons and that the producers plan to seek a home for a potential 3rd season. Even though I'm not a fan of the Halo show, even though I completely expected season 2 to be kind of rough because season 1 was, I'm not happy about this. It sucks. I wish the show was incredible. I wish it did really well, because even though I'm not a fan, this is a case where rising tides lift all ships. If a video game adaptation does well, other studios and streaming services will take notice of that, and we'll get more video games adapted to the big screen. Halo had problems. In many ways, it didn't know what it wanted to be. Fans weren't happy about the ways it strayed from the source material, whether by adding superfluous storylines or by enraging the diehard fans by showing Master Chief without his helmet on all the time. Ultimately, it wasn't what fans wanted from a Halo show. The dangerous part about adapting video games is that if you lose the fans of the game, then suddenly you're left without an audience. And now the producers want to shop it around. I think that the best case scenario is that Apple or HBO pick it up and just start fresh. Just start with season 1. And if you've ever wondered if we're truly living in the wrong timeline, just remember that both Peter Jackson and Guillermo del Toro were considered for working on Halo movies. They took that from us, and they gave us Master Cheeks.
We aren't able to do an Indie Pub promo today because Kayla's got a whole lot on her plate. We'll be back next week, but I just want to say thank you to Brilliant for sponsoring today's video. Head on over to Patreon for some bonus content, including sneak peeks of additional chapters of writing I've been doing, all kinds of fun stuff, and like and subscribe if you have not already. Hit the Patreon if you want to support what I do here, and have a good one, y'all. Peace.